Hello everyone, it's Lars from Unicorn Reviews here, and today I'll be doing a track guide around the Suzuka track in Japan. So yeah, before I do anything, I want you guys to, when you're done watching the video, give me a lot of feedback on this, because I'm pretty new to making these track guide videos, since I normally do a hardware review thing and gadgety reviews and everything. Anyway, as we can see here, that's pole position right there on the left side, even though the first corner is towards the right. The second corner is also a right-handed corner. Now, that's the pit building. It's not completely done yet. This is Project Cars build 480, so it's pre-alpha. Still looking pretty good though. So anyway, quite long run up downhill into the first corner, which is a bit of a shallow corner. Some cars can actually go full throttle through it, but then the next corner becomes a bit problematic. And what happens a lot here is if you overspeed in the first corner, the rear will just slide away from you when you apply the brakes and start downshifting into the second corner. So what I do is I only use engine braking. So I enter in 6th gear, and then just before turn-in I shift down. And then I don't go all the way over to the left, I stay a bit more to the right, and then 2 more downshifts, and just try to get as much exit speed out of this corner as you possibly can, because there's a pretty long straight afterwards and also fast corners, so you don't want to be losing speed there. Everything is for, well, you have to try and set yourself up for as much exit speed as you possibly can, not hit that curb there as well, obviously. Most curbs here at Suzuka should be avoided at all times, except for this one. You can use a bit of curb there, as long as you get all the way over to the right as fast as possible. And then you just do a quick lift in order to rebalance the car, make it turn in a bit, use a bit of lift of oversteer maybe, but you really just want to flick the car in. The cone right there, and in most corners here at Suzuka, shows you the apex of the corner, because it is quite up and down the hill, so a lot of blind corners. Pretty much every corner is blind here. And then this corner here, the first S's in the first corner of the S curves, you don't go all the way over to the right, because you have to try and get this rhythm throughout all of the S curves. Here as well, you don't go all the way over to the left, you stay a bit more to the middle to get more entry speed into the next corner. And then in the next corner, again, you don't go all the way wide, you just stay somewhat near the middle of the track. You want to straighten it out, but you don't want to make it too much. Also, you don't want to touch any curb here, because it will cause your car to spin or get terribly unbalanced. And when that happens, you obviously, you lose a lot of time, which the whole point of these videos is obviously to try and go faster, so losing time is something you don't want. Anyway, this corner here, the final one of the S curves before you go into the Dunlop Curve. Again, you take a very late apex, as you can see from the rubber already on the track. So about here, right here on the right, where it's a bit muddy, that's where your apex is going to be. You don't run all the way to the left, because next corner, Dunlop, is really important, because there's a lot of straight line behind it. Also, as you can see, the track goes up a bit. It's also a bit banked, so you want to use that to get as fast as possible through it, and to give you some grip from going up the hill. Obviously, this curb you don't really use. You can use it obviously, but try not to hit the grass, of course. And then this one, you just get ever closer to the left side, because you'll be all the way over to the right when you exit it, Dunlop Curve. Anyway, Degner 1. It is the corner that will ruin your race, probably. A lot of Suzuka has these corners where you have to brake under cornering a lot of times, and that's why in here, Degner 1, you actually brake a bit early, about here, and then when you're about here, what you do is you let go of the brakes, even though you can still brake quite a bit further, but you want the car to turn in as well as you can, no matter if you, it doesn't matter if you lose a little bit of time because of that, but you do not want to go too far too wide here. because if you're on the curb here under braking, for Degner 2, you'll end up going backwards into the wall. And then right here is Degner 2. It's very, very much banked. So you use that, but you also use the curb, and you go really wide here on exit. And there's a lot of AstroTurf here and concrete that's painted green. And then some more there, which you use to, you stay all the way over to the curb up until the concrete part. Now what happens is, in here, if you hit too much curb, or you brake a bit too late and the car gets upset, you'll hit this curb, and then you'll be on this curb here when braking, one wheel on the curb, and obviously your car is going to do a 180 and you'll just go backwards into the wall, ruining your race or your qualifying lap or whatever you're doing at the moment. Anyway, the corner before the hairpin, it's quite important actually. It's a full throttle corner anyway, but it is quite important to get it right, because if you don't get it right, you'll be on the wrong side of the track here, and the hairpin becomes even sharper. So you want to be all the way over to the right here, brake very late, take a late apex. What other people do is, I'll show that again, they do cross the track diagonally and then brake. Now take a sharper corner but brake a bit later. It depends on what car you are driving really, but I always take the wide line through it. As you can see, it's quite uphill here, so that might cause some oversteer on acceleration. Anyway, this next corner before Spoon is the 200R. And there's also 130R, but that's in the final sector of the track. So 200R, you're gonna start all the way over on the right anyway, but you don't completely stay all the way to the right throughout the entire corner. You're just gonna go a bit wider in the sharpest part, which is about here, and then you go over to the left. As you can see, I mean, it might be faster to stay on the right, but then this part here becomes too sharp and your wheels shave off too much speed, and the car might not be back on the right side of the track under braking here for Spoon. First part of Spoon is really high speed, so you just throw the car in there, minimal braking, use all the curb you can, but again, don't put wheels over the curb, because getting back will dramatically offset the balance of your car and you'll probably end up backwards. So a lot of speed in, and you stay turning, so you keep turning the wheel. Very important. If you straighten out the wheels here at Spoon, you have to turn in twice for one corner really. And on turning, my car that I use it doesn't immediately turn in, so I need some setup work on that, but it's like that with most cars. So you come into Spoon, and then in the middle of Spoon you pretty much will downshift it a little bit and just use again some engine braking, so you only brake on the rear wheels in order to keep the front nice and tidy. And then you go very wide again on exit here of Spoon, all the way up to the 130R. And on this little trip I'm gonna ask you guys to subscribe to the channel, of course, and maybe like this video if you think it's any good. It's a bit uphill. You go from the right back to the left, and then you sweep back to the right in the first corner there. This is the extra pit lane for the Suzuka West track. It's a pretty small pit lane, it's pretty useless as well. So yeah, up to the 130R, which is a very fast corner. It's right after the bridge when you because it's a figure of 8 track obviously. So the 130R, again they put a cone there, just turn it in. Don't go over the curb here. If you again, if you have two wheels over the curb, getting back will cause terrible unbalance in your car, and the heaviest braking point of the entire track is right behind it. So for the Casio triangle, I think it's called, I just call it the chicane really, but here is where you're gonna have terribly hard braking. Getting the brake point right is very, very crucial here. Go a bit too wide and you'll not have any speed on the main straight, so you just use a lot of curb in the first part, a lot of curb in the second part. And then this is the final corner where Timo Glock crashed in 09 I think it was. And then a year or maybe 2 years later, the Mark Webber was a lot faster throughout the entire lap than Sebastian Vettel, right? But then Mark stayed all the way to the left like you would during the race, and Sebastian stayed back to the right. So what you want to do is you stay all the way back to the right and just keep close to the wall. Yeah, that's my little radical there, making some noise. But you stay all the way back to the right because, as you can see, it's not a very sharp turn. You're not going to have a lot of speed in there. So you can allow yourself to make the track shorter instead of straighter. And so that then is pretty much it for one lap of Suzuka. I'm now going to get into my radical and get the lap record to show you guys that I do in fact know what I'm talking about, and just for fun as well, of course. I like getting myself a lap record or two. Alright guys, so no car audio now because it's, I'm just going to talk you guys through the entire lap really. So long run up into the first corner, as you can see, just one quick downshift here into turn 1 and then 2 more downshifts into turn 2, getting as much exit speed as you can see from the Ghost right there behind me. And then here, stay a bit more to the left than you should, not hitting any curbs of course. Very important to just stay somewhere near the middle of the track and just go full out. Try and get as much speed into here as you can. I should maybe have gone 1 gear lower there through Dunlop, but I didn't. And well, as you can see from the Ghost is quite far behind me. Anyway, Degner 1, not getting any curb at all. I should maybe have taken a bit more of a risk there, but I took plenty of risk into Degner 2. Up to the hairpin. As you can see, I stay pretty far to the right, late turn in, and then full on the throttle again into the 200R corner. I don't really have a lot to say about that really, it's just full throttle all the way up to spoon, staying close to the right here under braking, very late braking, late downshift, not fully using the curb there, so that potentially leaves me some more room to improve. And then up to the 130R, again full speed really, into 6th gear about here, just racing the car up to the 130R, a little bit of curb there on the inside but nothing on the outside to not upset the car. Very late braking here, maybe a bit too late. Get some curb here, some more curb there, again get on the throttle as quickly as I can. Stay all the way to the right of the track, and as you can see from the Ghost, that is the new track record. Just like that, I did a 202.429 I think it was, or was it 426, I don't know anymore, but it was the fastest lap time. And now I'm just going to get back to it and do some more racing and also try and get faster lap times. Anyway, please subscribe to the channel and please give me feedback on my videos and maybe even like one of my videos. That kind of means a lot. Thank you.